We do not need the military. Well, that is in our elections. It's a statement that was made by General Otafire. But one thing for sure is we need you, even if you're a military man, to watch UBC TV and to watch Good Morning Uganda. Good morning. Welcome to the show. My name is Julie Nantaba Mosisi. Now, the Minister of Internal Affairs, General Kahinda Otafire, said that it's not the duty of soldiers to maintain law and order during elections. And he said that, well, the work of the military is not to ensure internal law and order. That work is left for the police. We do not need the military to be deployed. But elsewhere in Africa, no bra, no exams. Now this is in Nigeria, and that is a Nigerian university that has sparked outrage where it has a law that if you do not have your chest put together as a lady, you are not entitled to sitting your exam. That is from a video that went viral showing female students being touched to see if they were wearing bras before taking part in an exam. Well, in your perspective, is it a violation of one's right, or every home has its rules, and for as long as you are in that home, you must follow the rules? But anyways, different situations and cases happening in the world, and some of them would indeed interest you. But I'm not alone. I am with Robert Chirabo Nyonyi Intono. Good morning, Robert.
Should I begin with sense, so much sense, or should I begin with a lighter note?
Let's start on a lighter note.
On a lighter note.
Yes.
Now, a woman at university, let me call them a woman.
Right.
A lady at university in Africa, how old is that person?
No, 19, maybe. 18, 19.
20.
Yeah, year one. 18,
Now,
19, 20, yeah.
That person is mature enough.
Okay.
And whether she chooses to put on a bra or not, it is their right.
Right.
I think sometimes us the men folks, sometimes we've expressed our lack of self-control to oppress the women. Because why are they saying one should have a bra? Every woman wants to look good,
Right.
not so? So no woman who will not wear a bra and she's looking bad will move. She will still, if she knows her breasts require a bra for her to, because a woman is someone who is very sensitive about her body. And a woman who will not wear a bra still knows her breasts are in that good shape and she still looks good. Now, I don't think women are offended over these young girls who come to university without putting on a bra. It is the men who feel when they see these breasts, these sharp and what, and they are taken on. Why can't we for some time let women enjoy what the Lord gave them? I remember when I was in school, we had an artist by then, I think it was called Craig David. And he had some beard. It would come sideburns, then channel or and what. Now, senior 6, we had a teacher who never had anything to do with beards. He was like you, yet he was a man. I won't mention the name. Now, this man began haunting us who had that Craig David
Beard.
because we looked very well. We looked very well.
Yeah.
Now, can you imagine someone telling you to cut off your beard?
So I would say one thing.
This Mr. He was called by the Mr. Mohoz. Someone in St. Mary's they can remember how he witch hunted us for no reason.
I would say one thing. If one's insecurities are going above you, they shouldn't exceed to other people. Deal with them by your creator. And one thing, this is a principle I have. If something is not morally oppressing, it's just a stage one is going through. By the way, bras are uncomfortable. No woman loves bras. That's the truth. So when she decides to just go free, it's her choice whether you look at it.
How do I get offended?
It's her choice, really. So if it's
as
not
long as
morally,
she's not exposing.
if she's not naked, yes.
She's not naked. I mean, she's put on her brows and everything. Now, where, unless these lack of self-control who feel that when they look at these women, they lose it all. Let the girls be. Now to
the serious matters.
Now, as General Kahinda Otafire was talking about the army having nothing to do, the chairperson of the Electoral Commission yesterday during a press conference emphasized and justified why the army is in elections. And he said the Constitution gives police the mandate to call upon other sister security agencies to help. Now, he justified that, yes, in elections, where police feel maybe they are not much in number, they call upon other sister agencies. Where police feels that the situation may run out of hand, you know, in police, you don't, or in security, you don't wait for situations to happen. You counter situations before they happen. Now, if it feels, or if they look through, because they have the mandate of detecting and preventing crime.
Right.
Now, police may look at a situation and they are not very sure it may not go violent, or they may handle it in case it runs out of hand. So they will call upon the army as soon as possible to help them, And so when you see, that is the justification why sometimes in our elections we see the army being part of the exercise. So it is within our laws, it is their right, and it gives police the mandate, police, to call upon them.
Right. On that note, let's have a look at what is on the local scene, Robert.
Well, we begin with President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, who has tasked residents of Greater Mpigi district to take his wealth creation program seriously if they want to eradicate poverty. Thousands of NRM supporters in the region gathered as Museveni emphasized that those who have embraced his wealth creation message, particularly those using parish development model PDM funds effectively, have seen significant improvement in their lives. Residents gathered at Kitundu sub-county in Mpigi district to welcome President Museveni as he addressed them on the parish development model. Museveni began his speech by highlighting key achievements in Greater Mpigi, such as the increase in the number of schools, that tarmacking of the Kampala-Masaka Road, free education, electricity, access, and the prevailing peace across the country. He pledged to construct a new hospital in Mpigi following demands from the local leaders. The president then shifted focus on the main purpose of the visit, which was the wealth creation message. After showing a series of video testimonials from successful PDM beneficiaries across the country, he urged residents to follow their example and embrace the program wholeheartedly. Museveni also advised residents not to vote for money, but instead to vote for ideas and candidates who can effectively lobby government to develop them. The Vice President, retired Major Jessica Alupo, has reaffirmed Uganda's strong ties with Russia during a high-level meeting with Vietnam and with Vietnam chairperson too. The chairperson of the Federation of the Council in Moscow, Alupo, praised Mativionko's remarkable leadership, calling her an inspiration to women worldwide. She described Uganda-Russia relations as warm and mutually beneficial, noting that her visit opens a new chapter of cooperation. Alupo revealed that Uganda is preparing to host the third session of the Intergovernmental Commission and proposed new areas of collaboration. She also invited Matvienko for a reciprocal visit, praising Russia's hospitality and calling the visit a deep one.
She almost looks like Hillary Clinton.
Security agencies taking over any activity at a polling station is overstepping their mandate and is illegal. The chairperson, Electoral Commission, Simon Byabakama, said the police's mandate is to only maintain security, and they are talking to them to ensure they stay in their lane come 2026, 2025 general elections. While addressing the media at the Electoral Commission headquarters in Kampala, Byabakama also warned political parties against forming any pyro groups like the Youth Brigade militia during the elections for youth village committees today. They are starting today. And the Public Accounts Committee of Parliament has grilled the Ministry of Public Service over irregularities discovered in the management of the payroll and overall wage performance. Park Central Committee, chaired by Mwanga Chivumbi, discovered that 1,166 employees remained on active payroll in the financial year 2023-2024, yet some reported by the Auditor General's report to have died, absconded, or retired. The Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Public Service, Catherine Musingwere, was in place to respond, citing some investigations by CID. Well, Julie, that brings us to the end of our local stories.
Yes, indeed. Thank you,
Dead,
Robert.
retired, absconded, still earning money.
Oh, wow. Now let's have a look at what is on the foreign scene, and we're starting off with a rather escalating war of words. Hopefully it does not turn into a war of guns between the US president and the Iranian leader. But Iranian Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei has warned the United States that joining Israeli strikes on his country would result in irreparable consequences for the US as his and US President Donald Trump's war of words escalates and accelerates, and the Israel-Iran hostilities have now raged for 1 week. His remarks came as the military called on people in Israel to go to shelters early Thursday as defense systems worked to intercept Iranian missiles. Iran's Fars news agency reported that bunker-busting drones have been used to target Israel. Israel also reported that Iran launched a barrage earlier on Wednesday evening and that it intercepted 8 missiles. Israel carried out multiple strikes on the Iranian capital, Tehran, and other parts of the country throughout the day. In his first televised address since Israel began its attacks on Friday, Khamenei said on Wednesday that Iran will not surrender to anyone and will stand firm against an imposed war, just as it will stand firm against an imposed peace. Now, responding to threatening remarks made a day earlier by Trump, Khamenei said that those who know Iran and its history know that Iranians do not answer well to the language of threats. Wow. Wow. Anyways, moving on, the Earth could be doomed to breach the symbolic 1.5 C warming limit in as little as 3 years at current levels of carbon dioxide emissions. That's the stark warning from more than 60 of the world's leading climate scientists in the most up-to-date assessment of the state of global warming. Nearly 200 countries agreed to try to limit global temperature rises to 1.5 C above levels of the late 1800s in a landmark agreement in 2015, with the aim of avoiding some of the worst impacts of climate change. But countries have continued to burn record amounts of coal, oil, and gas and chop down carbon-rich forests, leaving that international goal in peril. At the beginning of 2020, scientists estimated that humanity could only emit 500 billion more tons of carbon dioxide, and the most important planet-warming gas for a 50% chance of keeping warming to 1.5 C. But by the start of 2025, this so-called carbon budget had shrunk to 130 billion tons, according to the new study. And that reduction is largely due to continued record emissions of carbon dioxide and other planet-warming greenhouse gases like methane, but also improvements in the scientific estimates. Now, coming to the continent, the family of Zambia's former president, Edgar Lungu, has halted the return of his body from South Africa, accusing the government of breaching key agreements over his funeral. The arrangements had been finalized and his remains were due to be flown back on Wednesday on a private charter plane after days of uncertainty and negotiations between the family and the government. But the family has now stopped the plan, saying it finds it very difficult to believe that the government will stick to their end of the agreement. Sadly so, that the motto remains of President Edgar Chagwa Lungu will not return today, family spokesperson Makebi Zulu said on Wednesday. Mr. Zulu said that the government had released a draft program of the funeral without consultation with the family, and President Hakainde Hichilema was scheduled to receive the body upon its arrival at the airport in the capital, Lusaka. The former president's body was said to be taken to his residence in Lusaka, where it would lie in state ahead of his state funeral on 22nd June and burial the following day. In an address from South Africa on Wednesday, Mr. Zulu said that the government had deviated from the agreed program.
Why not let the dead rest? You know, even here in Uganda, I've seen a number of people who have died.
Yes.
And then their bodies are held in funeral homes because of disagreements of where to remember prominent lawyer Bob something, you know, where the body was kept. The wife is in court over burial. Now the man has died.
With the family members, yes.
You know, why don't you let the dead rest peacefully? You know.
Yep. Yep. Anyways, that marks it for what we have on the foreign scene. What's in the dailies today?
Well, we'll begin with a new vision, and that is the 2026 polls. EC warns on vigilantes, these militia groups, aim to protect, I hear, the vote. Now, Museveni urges leaders to audit PDM impact, and Ben Hinn to preach in Kampala. Okay. We have court holds Snoop party activities. And still in the new vision, there is a start series on Citizens Manifesto. Now, quickly to the Daily Monitor this morning, over 500 Ugandans trapped in Israel war. In climbing mountains, she found her strength. Who is that? And still in the Daily Monitor, guard sacked, shoots human resource officer dead. That was in Imbuya at the Ultimate. Very unfortunate there.
Wow.
3 were killed. Now still looking at the Daily Monitor this morning, I can't leave the lizard. Do not interfere with EC work, Byabakama says. Now the lizard comes in. What did he do after the Kawempe by-election? That is a question. Can you take us either by bus or by air?
Oh, well,
Tanzania and Kenya.
it's all right to go by air. It's just a 45-minute flight to Kenya.
With Uganda Airlines.
Yes, with Uganda Airlines. So we can start with, all right, let's start with the Citizen from Tanzania. Proposed tax on retained earnings prompts debate. That is a headline in the Citizen. And Samia launches construction of 103 vocational schools. Looking at football, Yanga, Simba neck and neck after posting big wins. Now Tanzania engages US over possible travel hubs. Why Mwanza is poised to rival Dar economically. And MTLF to highlight infrastructure as development catalyst. Now looking at the Daily Nation, in Kenya, how chaos was planned in city. That is a headline in the Daily Nation. And Dare's life and times, a tale full of daring. That is in the Daily Nation. Looking at politics, why Ruto critics in Nyanza are trooping to State House. And defiant, Iran rejects Trump order to surrender in its war with Israel. And that's pretty much it of what we have in the dailies today. But you can get yourself a copy and look at the detail of every paper as you might like it. But for now, let's have a short break as we enjoy some music from Jose Chameleon. Kwagalanyo.
Live from UPC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
We do not need the military. Well, that is in our elections. It's a statement that was made by General Otafire. But one thing for sure is we need you, even if you're a military man, to watch UBC TV and to watch Good Morning Uganda. Good morning. Welcome to the show. My name is Julie Nantaba Mosisi. Now, the Minister of Internal Affairs, General Kahinda Otafire, said that it's not the duty of soldiers to maintain law and order during elections. And he said that, well, the work of the military is not to ensure internal law and order. That work is left for the police. We do not need the military to be deployed. But elsewhere in Africa, no bra, no exams. Now, this is in Nigeria, and that is a Nigerian university that has sparked outrage where it has a law that if you do not have your chest put together as a lady, you are not entitled to sitting your exam. That is from a video that went viral showing female students being touched to see if they were wearing bras before taking part in an exam. Well, in your perspective, is it a violation of one's right, or every home has its rules, and for as long as you are in that home, you must follow the rules? But anyways, different situations and cases happening in the world, and some of them would indeed interest you. But I'm not alone. I am with Robert Chirabo Nyonyi Intono. Good morning, Robert.
Should I begin with sense, so much sense, or should I begin with a lighter note?
Let's start on a lighter note.
On a lighter note.
Yes.
Now, a woman at university, let me call them a woman.
Right.
A lady at university in Africa, how old is that person?
No, 19, maybe. 18, 19. Yeah, year one. 18, now, 19, 20, yeah.
That person is mature enough.
Okay.
And whether she chooses to put on a bra or not, it is their right.
Right.
I think sometimes us, the men folks, sometimes we've expressed our lack of self-control to oppress the women. Because why are they saying one should have a bra? Every woman wants to look good,
right.
Not so. So no woman who will not wear a bra and she's looking bad will move. She will still, if she knows her breasts require a bra for her to, because a woman is someone who is very sensitive about her body. And a woman who will not wear a bra still knows her breasts are in that good shape and she still looks good. Now, I don't think women are offended over these young girls who come to university without putting on a bra. It is the men who feel when they see these breasts, these sharp and what, and they are taken on. Why can't we for some time let women enjoy what the Lord gave them? I remember when I was in school, we had an artist by then, I think it was called Craig David. And he had some beard. It would come sideburns, then channel or and what. Now, senior 6, we had a teacher who never had anything to do with beards. He was like you, yet he was a man. I won't mention the name. Now, this man began haunting us who had that Craig David
beard,
because we looked very well. Too early, we looked very well.
Yeah.
Now, can you imagine someone telling you to cut off your beard?
So I would say one thing.
This Mr. He was called by the Mr. Mohoz. Someone in St. Mary's Chitende can remember how he witch hunted us for no reason.
I would say one thing. If one's insecurities are going above you, they shouldn't exceed to other people. Deal with them by your creator. And one thing, this is a principle I have. If something is not morally oppressing, it's just a stage one is going through. By the way, bras are uncomfortable. No woman loves bras. That's the truth. So when she decides to just go free, it's her choice whether you look at it.
How do I get offended?
It's her choice, really. So if it's
as
not
long as
morally,
she's not exposing.
if she's not naked, yes.
She's not naked. I mean, she's put on her brows and everything. Now, where, unless these lack of self-control who feel that when they look at these women, they lose it all. Let the girls be. Now to
the serious matters.
Now, as General Kahinda Otafire was talking about the army having nothing to do, the chairperson of the Electoral Commission yesterday during a press conference emphasized and justified why the army is in elections. And he said the Constitution gives police the mandate to call upon other sister security agencies to help. Now, he justified that, yes, in elections, where police feel maybe they are not much in number, they call upon other sister agencies. Where police feels that the situation may run out of hand, you know, in police, you don't, or in security, you don't wait for situations to happen. You counter situations before they happen. Now, if it feels, or if they look through, because they have the mandate of detecting and preventing crime.
Right.
Now, police may look at a situation and they are not very sure it may not go violent, or they may handle it in case it runs out of hand. So they will call upon the army as soon as possible to help them, And so when you see that is the justification why sometimes in our elections we see the army being part of the exercise. So it is within our laws, it is their right, and it gives police the mandate, police, to call upon them.
Right. On that note, let's have a look at what is on the local scene, Robert.
Well, we begin with President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, who has tasked residents of Greater Mpigi district to take his wealth creation program seriously if they want to eradicate poverty. Thousands of NRM supporters in the region gathered as Museveni emphasized that those who have embraced his wealth creation message, particularly those using parish development model PDM funds effectively, have seen significant improvement in their lives. Residents gathered at Kitundu sub-county in Mpigi district to welcome President Museveni as he addressed them on the parish development model. Museveni began his speech by highlighting key achievements in Greater Mpigi, such as the increase in the number of schools, that tarmacking of the Kampala-Masaka Road, free education, electricity, access, and the prevailing peace across the country. He pledged to construct a new hospital in Mpigi following demands from the local leaders. The president then shifted focus on the main purpose of the visit, which was the wealth creation message. After showing a series of video testimonials from successful PDM beneficiaries across the country, he urged residents to follow their example and embrace the program wholeheartedly. Museveni also advised residents not to vote for money, but instead to vote for ideas and candidates who can effectively lobby government to develop them. The Vice President, retired Major Jessica Alupo, has reaffirmed Uganda's strong ties with Russia during a high-level meeting with Vietnam and with Vietnam chairperson too. The chairperson of the Federation of the Council in Moscow, Alupo, praised Matviyenko's remarkable leadership, calling her an inspiration to women worldwide. She described Uganda-Russia relations as warm and mutually beneficial, noting that her visit opens a new chapter of cooperation. Alupo revealed that Uganda is preparing to host the third session of the Intergovernmental Commission and propose new areas of collaboration. She also invited Matviyenko for a reciprocal visit, praising Russia's hospitality and calling the visit a deep one.
She almost looks like Hillary Clinton.
Security agencies taking over any activity at a polling station is overstepping their mandate and is illegal. The chairperson, Electoral Commission, Simon Byabakama, said the police's mandate is to only maintain security, and they are talking to them to ensure they stay in their lane come 2026.
Welcome. If you've been with us since the start, Thank you so much for being on the show. It's Good Morning Uganda. My name is Julie Nantabamsisi, and I'm with Robert Chirabo Nyonyi Ntono. And as always, on The Real, we get to talk about conversations, share our 2 cents, but most times also very important that we have experts who have the actual experience of these conversations. Now, the Minister of State for Microfinance and Cooperatives did come out and warn against money lenders, exploitative money lenders, for seizing national IDs of citizens, those who access their services, and in fact called on microfinance institutions to regulate the sector. Now, as we may know, Uganda is quite an entrepreneurial country, and that means many, many business people, especially traders, fall victim to money lenders and everything that goes about money lenders. Now, to talk about this, we do have Mr. Issa Sechito, who's the spokesperson of Kampala City Traders Association, over the phone to have a conversation with us on this particular matter. Good morning, Mr. Issa Sechito.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you too.
Yes, sir. So what is the scale of the problem with money lenders, especially exploitative money lenders among Kampala traders?
The scale is big because from a practical experience, I bought a car from Uganda to bank, and I bought it 23 million. I had some issues with some years, and when I went to borrow some money from one of the money lenders who are car dealers, they made me get some 8 million because of school fees of some children. That was stuck, and at the end of the day, the 8 million was the maximum I would regain after just people failure of some children to complete what we had agreed with them, and the mafia had already signed the transfer form as prerequisite for me to access a quick loan, where I thought somebody would pay me on time, and I wasn't paid on time, so to risk my passion, not sit for exams, I had to do everything possible. And unfortunately, a car that I bought 23 million was taken away from me at less than 9 million, because this is what the business is. So, from losing the car that you bought 23 million, and you regain one, making it a total of 9 million, is enough example to show you how huge the challenge is.
Right.
Because that is a personal experience. Just imagine, that is a small money. How if you are going to pay taxes, and because of one auto reason, you pledged your house, pledged your expensive car. Fortunately, for answer any estimated reasons or unknown reasons, you delayed and it did not pay on time. That means many losses are being faced because of this. But that one says you also need to know that these people, if it is land, in fact, most of the people, because they are quick in disbursing money, the agreements they do are not for borrowing, because some of them are even not official money lenders who necessary to do this. So, if they write agreements of lending you money, it could be rendered under illegality. So what they do, you say, I have sold, and that is the, I have sold my this for such an amount of money. You can't believe what is happening. If it's not selling, the amount of money that you borrow. For example, if you are borrowing 10 million and you are returning 13 million
Right.
or 12 million, what happens in the agreement? It is only stated that you have borrowed 12 million. So that in the face of the law, it doesn't look that there is an interest. Because if you lend without interest to a colleague, that one is not illegal. But if you lend money, if you are not a financial institution that is allowed to do, and if there is an interest, that can become illegality. So the plan is you agree on how much money you are going to take. If it is 10 and you are returning 12 million within a period of 1 month, then that means you need to say, I have borrowed 12 million from the document. So that even if something goes wrong and you have not paid on time, somebody says, you should return my 12 million. I lent him, so there is no way you will say this is an illegal deal. That is another trick. The other one, of course, being that no transaction can take place. That's why your partner there, Mr. Kirabo, could not get money from his in-law.
Yes.
Because the statements that are being done, the documents that are being drafted would have shamed him, because he would have transferred the title, he would have signed it. He did not transfer that debt, but would have signed the transfer, so that when a default happens, it is a matter of filling in already signed transfers, and whether it is a vehicle or it is a property or if it is a title, you have already signed the transfer form, so it's just a matter of just supposing names of the lender, and then the property becomes theirs. So that's how huge the challenge is.
Right.
Mr. Sekito, you're the spokesperson of Kasita, and indeed these are things you face on daily. I remember also when things weren't, but one would ask, why do we still see many people run to money lenders, knowing that actually these are very crafty people?
There's a number of reasons. One of them is that all the monies that are set aside by government, for example, the small businesses recovery fund that was put there, some 200 billion sometime after COVID, none of the business people were able to access this money. You just wonder where this money went. Other than making strategies and arrangements for the city funds by governments to reach the business people, the money is put to commercial banks, and the legal processes of verifying title, verifying registration status of companies, verifying this and that, makes it very hard even for government put funds to be accessed by the intended recipient. This means that there is no way out. If you go to the bank wants titles, thank you. If you go to the banks want time to verify. If you want to go to banks want collateral. If you go to banks, so many issues that are not making it very easy for the business people to get quick loan. And it is the quick loans that are usually making the people vulnerable to go to money lenders. I brought my goods. I thought I should have sold on time. I don't sell on time. Other goods arrive, and I want 25 million to clear them out of customs. Which bank would process a loan within a day? It is very few, or a day or two. You will see them coming to visit, taking photographs in front of your house. If it is office, swear in the name of God, go to this and that. So the bureaucracy through which financial institutions lend money becomes huge to handle emergencies. so making the business people vulnerable to go to the money lenders. The other issue is these people are known to each other, the majority. Every rich man around town has an informal circle. Take it from me. So if you pick money from his assistant and you are Mukasa Isaac, with whom you go together in the gym, you go together for watching football matches, you go together for concerts or any other things you share, you will know that I'm learning to Mr. Isachito, and the terms are not very difficult. Whom is taking advantage of grabbing your item, because the law will not recognize the friendship, will only recognize the documents that you sign. So you are signing the documents with a friend. Look at it in the villages, look at in the major towns. All the people that lend money and the deals become sour are known to each other. And therefore there is that mutual trust that somebody depends on to think that they are going to be having a successful deal. Yet, internally, these people have different perspectives, these people have different agendas, and that's how people still go to them.
Right. Thank you, Mr. Sechito. We are looking at a recent warning that was released and stated by the State Minister of Microfinance and Cooperatives, where he stated that he is against exploitative money lenders seizing national IDs of Ugandans, and he instructed the microfinance institutions to take regulatory actions. Speaking of which, Mr. Sechito.
I have a challenge with that directive from the Honourable Minister Kasol. I have no personal vendors against him at all.
Yes, please.
But I have said to him, there is different letters from 3 different groups of women who made their circle in Nakasero here. These people would lend to each other soft loans. Some people took over 250 million that he was operating within their circle. They would not go to any money lender. If you had a challenge, you would go there, fill the form, you get the money on very small charges. Some of the leaders of certain markets, for example, one in Nakasero, took over the money. They know who took the money. I wrote to the minister to intervene and call these people to recover this money. It is going into more than a year, and the people have desperately tried to look for the Honourable Minister of Microfinance, including my own call and request to him that this is one way of discouraging money lenders. If people can form small teams into what they call investment clubs, the hardware dealers, the spare dealers, the Nakasero dealers, the textile dealers, they form their own investment funds so that they are ready to go to these ones, and some unscrupulous people amongst them disorganize them. Unfortunately, the minister, because these are informal circles, the minister does not want to involve himself and see that justice is done. If that happens, it gives room to more money lenders to emerge, because even the investment clubs have proven it to be a dirty service, and they should have been supervised by the Minister for Microfinance. I received even a call 2 days ago that Mr. Sechito, we have been moving to the minister, we wanted his assistance. We didn't get this. So, this is good, what he is trying to do, but he is also be very much on the ground and listening to the complaints that are raised by the investment clubs of different groups all over the country, so that people formulate a revolving fund that they are depending on, which is private. The minister minding about those who are defaulting, not only minding about the Nyoga money, PDM money, and any other monies that are coming from government. Even the money that is privately arranged, Ugandans who are misusing it needs to be held accountable, so that we reduce on the powers of the money lenders who are so exploitative in most of the circumstances.
Right. Now, Mr. Sechito, holding someone's ID is definitely one that is very affecting because we use IDs for almost everything, in fact, everything. And that means it also affects loan repayment. How does it affect, just take us through the experience of how it affects a trader's ability to access markets, obtain official documents, or even vote?
If you don't have a passport and you're traveling to Nairobi to pick onions, to pick carrots, to pick mangoes, you do not need a passport.
Right.
You only need some paper and your ID. Now, if your ID in original format has already been taken over by the money lenders, but what do they do? They also need to have a way of enticing you to go back and pay. Now, I am telling you that of the time that is very limited, because of the quick actions that are taken, the money lenders are forced to take anything that is readily available.
Right.
Now, that's what makes the identity card and the mini number being so vulnerable to be misused. Some even take a passport so that you couldn't travel. At the end of that day, a pronouncement needs to be done. The Minister of Finance and the Minister of Microfinance, the local leadership, the police, and whoever is responsible to implement and apprehend these people are so reluctant. Because, I'm sorry to say this, the local leadership in the form of LOCs, for example, the police at the different stations are compromised by the ones who have the money. You know, I am vulnerable, I want money to remove my person who is in prison. You know, my person is sick, I want to go to hospital. And the one who has the money is the one that is obtaining my passport, is the one that is obtaining my national ID. When you even take a matter to any authority, the money will play the game and I will come back crying. So what I do, I just forget about what my ID would do and they suffer silently because of the weaknesses in the implementation of the protocols and laws of Uganda. I'm telling you this.
Right.
Mr. Sekito, now also the question is, how do you differentiate between a genuine and one who is not genuine? Because we know there are those that are licensed. So
it's very simple. If you go to borrow money and somebody tells you to sign the transfers within the first day, no. If you go to borrow money and they don't want to talk about the principal you have taken, they only talk about the total monies that you have taken, and it is what appears on the agreement. Then that is wrong. If you go to a money lender and the forms to fill are leaving out some vital information, and they are saying we shall fill these gaps, you just make a signature. You sign here, sign here, sign the other way. Then you suspect this one is not a genuine money lender. So for those ones that are open, they mention the principal, the interest, the period, and the security that you have left behind.
Right.
So these are some of the comparisons we can make so that on a quick check, you already know you are going into wrong hands. If somebody says, don't say I have lent you money, say you have sold me this phone.
Right.
Please just know that you have actually sold the phone at that very small price.
All right. Mr. Sechito, you had hinted earlier on the different safer ways money lending could go on without necessarily engaging money lenders, but you can share detail. What alternatives do you think exist or should be engaged in terms of having money lent? Yes.
People must be very, very, very aggressive in their saving options. If you can't save in the house, if you can't save with friends, go to bank, ask for some fixed deposit so that you agree with the bank that I'm going to save for the next 6 to 10 months so that I don't withdraw this money, whether it is 10,000 or 5,000. At the end of the day, that money can work as collateral for you, the banker, to give you money in the form of an overdraft if you have an emergency. Because that money that you are saving there will work as collateral. I encourage people to do that.
Right.
Two, I encourage people, wherever you are working from, whether you are a trader, whether you are a farmer, whether you are a press person or a journalist, see some 10, 5 people that you relate with. Can you please try as much as possible to see that you have some bit of saving among us, you, so that every now and then somebody can be able to get some money that is above their salary. For example, if you are getting $1 million, can you get some 200,000 off for every month so that you collect it for 10 people? So that in the numbers that you have allocated, someone can get 2 million. By the end of the 10th month, everyone among us in the group has gotten a chance to get some to 2 million. If that money is there, emergencies can be taken over and it can be a springboard for you to go to other levels. I encourage people not to be there and then they only depend on the salary, and then when it gets finished, there is no recourse. Three, I think it is also very, very, very important that people get to know to have accounts in a bank, and let them be regular visitors of banks so that they have a personal understanding. No matter, you don't need to be a very rich person to be related to your bank. You only need to be consistent in your saving abilities so that you can be able to tell them in case of an emergency. There are also these mobile money facilities. These ones have their disadvantages, but they also have many advantages. If you are a good customer to these telecommunication companies, and try to learn some of the provisions for borrowing money, and try to adhere to them so that you are dealing with a formidable company in the form of Airtel, in the form of MTN. These ones cannot easily have intentions of grabbing your property, your vehicles, because after all, they are not giving the security. The security for some of these loans is how you relate with them, how you save with them, how you deal with your day-to-day challenges, and how you operate your accounts with them. They go on increasing your capacities to borrow money from them, depending on how regular and consistently you use the facilities. These are some of the options that can lead us into avoiding the very extortionate money lenders.
Right. Thank you very much, Mr. Sechito Issa. He is the spokesperson of CASITA, that is Kampala City Traders Association. So, Mr. Sechito, what would be your parting shot to the traders, but also to the Honorable Minister?
My parting shot is, I'm upon the Minister of Microfinance. If he gets any group that writes to him, whether it is part of the arrangement for government money in the form of PDM, in the form of yoga, in the form of any other money, let him act on time, but also private arrangements where groups of children, groups of youth, groups of women come up with a complaint, let him open up so that some of these disputes are settled at that level to avoid people misusing or people cheating people on money that would help them to avoid money lenders. And also, I am encouraging Ugandans to be vigilant. Please, everybody is a potential borrower from money lenders because the challenges emerge without notification. Can you please try to know where to run to. You vet. You look at them even before you need the money. So that by the time you would need the money, you have a challenge, you have already gone through which one to take leave of. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Issa Sechito, for your time.
Thank you. Thank you.
And that brings us to the end of this conversation this morning. Good Morning Uganda does continue. Up next is JMU Tourism Express. Good morning.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Hello, Kampala, Uganda. In response to the national call of strengthening the traffic security, Good Products Group HGO brand has officially launched the Rider Selection Campaign. Registration is now open. Visit www.riders.hgo.com. Complete your registration now for a chance to win exciting prizes including motorcycles, exclusive HGO gift boxes, and official rider vests, all while promoting safe riding awareness. This is how to participate. Pay the registration fee, invite 3 friends to form a team of 4, and your registration fee will instantly be refunded. Begin your journey of honor today. Don't miss this opportunity. Join the challenge, promote road safety, and become a pioneer rider. For details, visit the official Good Products website at www.hgo.com or call toll-free 0800-335-555 or visit our offices at Kingdom Kampala 3rd floor to register now and win prizes worth millions.
Okwongera okuyiga ebikwata ku musolo n'okubisembereza abagusasula. Bannayuganda bangi balina ebibuuzo ebikwata ku musolo gwe basasula eri ekitongole ekiwooza URA.
When we come at revenue, they tell us to clear Chitenge at 10,000.
Alikuwa nafika kwa mwingine URA na kurespect lazima mzee tuongee. Munaongee. Hakuna fika kwa nyingine na kamata faili yako naweka kwa drawer na
okutegeera obukulu bw'okusasula omusolo busobola okuyamba okuzza bizinesi yo n'okwewala okufiirizibwanga. Kati osobola okufuna okuddibwamu obutereevu. Sindika ebibuuzo ebikwata ku musolo ng'oweereza obubaka bw'obutereevu ne WhatsApp ku nnamba y'essimu 0794-18-887 olwo ofuna okuddibwamu okuva wa kamisona General URA John Musinguzi. Laba amawulire gaffe UBC leero buli lwa bbalaza n'olwokusatu ofune okunnyonnyola okulambulukufu okuva ew'omukenkufu. Buuza kamisona.
Uniquely ours. Explore Uganda.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Good morning, and once again, thank you for joining UBC. We are on Good Morning Uganda Tourism Express. My name is Zakia Lucky. This morning, we are right into one of Uganda's most fascinating treasures, Mugahinga National Park. And this has a slogan that goes, "Where gold meets silver." It's one of the activities that we are just yet to lead into, golden monkey tracking, and you'll get to see what Mugahinga National Park has to offer in regards to the slogan and so much more. So stick around. With us is the team, and I can tell you it's more than what you should expect because it's extremely beautiful. As we get into the journey, just get yourself seated and be ready to watch what we have to offer. We are going to be moving with Mr. Martin, who is the ranger guide at Mugahinga National Park, and he's going to be taking us through. I can tell you I'm more than excited. I have just heard so much about it. So let's get to dive into what is in the national park. Stick around. Yeah, so I was asking, is there like a waterfall in here?
Waterfall in some of the waterfallings we have here. We have got seasonal streams.
Seasonal stream?
Yes, we have got Ntebeko River. That is a seasonal stream. During dry season, you find it filled with water. But during the dry season, you find when water has drawn off, there is no water at all. Yeah.
So you said these monkeys have families?
Yes.
How many families do they have?
So far, we have got 2 troops of golden monkeys here.
Okay.
We have got one, which we are visiting today. It's called Kasinje. It is one family has gone through habituation. Habituation, that is the process which we do take in order to get them used with us humans. Yeah. So this one which we are visiting today is fully used with people, and we have got another one which is still undergoing habituation. And some people usually choose to go for habituation experience. You spend with them 4 hours.
When you say habituation experience, what do you mean by that?
Habituation experience, that is the process which we do undertake for the golden monkeys to get used to us humans. Usually, what we always do, we need to first allocate the family of the individuals, and then later on, we consider the home ranges. We start monitoring them, considering the home ranges, where they do feed from, where they can reach, where they cannot exceed. Then after knowing that this is the home range of this family, then later on we shall keep following them each and every morning so that they can get used to us. At first, you can allocate them from a distance. Of course, the time you use is the more time they get used, because a habituation experience usually takes about 2.5 years.
Okay.
That is when they get fully used with. Yeah.
You said families.
Yes.
Do you mean how do you get to term it as a family? Does it have to be like a couple? And okay, I'm putting it into the human.
Yes, please.
Yes. Is it a husband and wife, the monkeys, or it has to have kids for it to be a family, or is it supposed to be just one monkey to have a family, like a name, until it gets its partner?
Usually, golden monkeys, they fall under the other apes, and it cannot be one to be called a family. It needs to be a large troop. That is how we recognize it as a family. But we have got some other individuals which do live solitary lives. So in order for it to be called a family, it must be having more than 10 members. So when it is under 10, we call that one solitary live family, solitary live golden monkeys. They are there. Let's say the way you saw golden monkey, the gorillas, if you have ever seen gorillas, they have also got the leadership hierarchy. Yeah, we have got the leadership hierarchy, whereby we have the silverback. That is the one that led the family. But it is not the same case with golden monkeys, whereby we shall be able to see some dominant males, alpha males, which are taking care of that family.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So where we are right now, we are a few meters to the golden monkeys. We shall be with them for 1 hour, and we are going to take our preparations from here. And within that 1 hour, we shall not be able to drink, we shall not be able to eat, and we shall not be allowed to smoke, maybe to some who smoke. We are going to take our preparations from here, Get your masks ready. Walking sticks will remain behind. And if you feel you need to have anything, you will tell me, and then maybe you come back for it. But in Golden Market tracking, flash photographies are not allowed. You will be able to put off your flash, and then we shall be able to go for viewing. Thank you.
This is just the very entrance that we took as we headed into the wilderness, and it is the exit where I'm standing as you enter from trekking golden monkeys. I can tell you it was a very great experience. You get to learn so much more, and I did conquer 7 kilometers of trekking. That was a to and fro. Good enough we managed to get the golden monkeys on time. And if you are there wondering if you could take it on, I mean you can, because the mountain just goes for 3,474 meters. Yes, and just know the entire forest. If you want to know how big the national park itself is 33.7. I am a born of this particular region, and if you are wondering, I'm telling you, this is more than just a mere experience. Most of you have heard so much about Mugahinga, but it is today that I actually get to know that this is Mount Gahinga. And if you want to understand today the difference between Mount Muhabura and Gahinga, these are just 2 mountains, without forgetting Sabinyo. When you get to this town, you get to see 3 mountains. Mountain Muhabura, you get to see Mount Gahinga, and then Sabinyo. Now, where you get to have the passport of being in 3 countries without having to fly still is after you get to Sabinyo, that you get to see Rwanda, you're in Uganda, and then DRC Congo. When we get inside the wilderness, so much birds to watch, so many animals to watch. And when you get to the golden monkeys themselves, it's just a very fascinating experience. I can tell you, looking at how they just relate just like humans, eating and the playfulness and how, close they are to each other, the families, it's all that you would want to see. Without forgetting, we just got stories about them on how they bury. They're just like humans, and I think it is an experience that you would want to also have. So when you get to visit the Southwest, get to come to Mugahinga National Park.
Uniquely ours. Explore Uganda.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Good morning, Uganda. Thank you for always being on UBC. Time for JMU Business. Welcome back from that segment of Tourism Express. Now, starting off with matters financial literacy, the Chief Executive Officer of Uganda Federation of Mall Gymgos Community Credit Cooperatives, Andrew Chepa, has hailed the Korean Mall Gymgos model as a game changer in tackling youth financial exclusion. In Uganda, Chepa affirmed that through this model, the Federation is creating inclusive platforms that empower young people to access financial services, build credit history, and cultivate strong financial habits. A globally certified financial literacy trainer and Bank of Uganda accredited expert, Deborah Chiwanuka, stressed that financial literacy and collective actions are pillars for long-term economic growth and stability in Uganda. All they were made during a high-impact financial literacy training held in districts of Gulu and Oyam, with support from South Korea's Ministry of Interior and Safety. With support from the Ministry of Interior and Safety of South Korea, a major financial literacy initiative is making waves across the country. Now, the Uganda Federation of MG Community Credit Cooperatives, UFCC, has intensified efforts to empower youth across the country, with impactful training programs now taking root in eastern, northern, and central regions. In northern Uganda, Gulu, Oyam, and Lira districts played host to one of these transformative trainings under the Mol Gumgo model, a community-driven approach providing practical solutions to youth financial exclusion. Deborah Chiwanuka, a globally certified financial literacy expert, accredited by the central bank, urges youth to set clear financial goals and adopt sustainable practices that empower their communities, emphasizing that community investment cooperation and the formation of Mol Gumgos provide locally driven financial solutions. Now, moving on, Uganda is reaching out to global investors at the World Expo in Osaka, Japan, promoting opportunities in growing export industries and a clear strategy for economic growth. The goal is to attract new investment and strengthen trade ties with Japan, one of the world's leading economies. Osaka stands tall with shining skyscrapers and a clean skyline as a sign of Japan's strong economy, built over many years of innovation and hard work. At the busy port, ships come and go, proof of a country deeply connected to global trade and business. This is the market Uganda is trying to tap into. Since the expo began, crowds of visitors, including many potential investors, have explored Umeshima Island, eager to discover new opportunities. Countries from all over the world have come to show what they offer, ranging from technology and clean energy to tourism and culture. Uganda is here to tell its own story. Uganda's State Minister of Trade, Wilson Basu Mbadi, says the main aim of being at the expo is to attract investors and share what the country has to offer. Mbadi says that Uganda is ready to grow. After all, systems are now in place and still developing. Uganda wants to grow its economy by increasing exports and reducing its need to import goods. One key part of this plan is investing in special economic zones. The authority, now with an expanded mandate, believes that Uganda is on the right track. And according to him, free zones are more than just spaces for businesses. They are a big part of how we plan to grow our economy. Ugandans are implored to take advantage of the current trade ecosystem, partnering with government to realize $500 billion GDP by 2040, seeing that it's currently upward by $50 billion. Looking at post-budget dialogues for the financial year 25-26, low absorption capacity of allocated funds to local governments, untamed appetite for supplementary budgets, and local governments' failure to collect enough funds are still bottlenecks, dismally affecting Uganda's budget efficiency. The strong reminder has come during the CSO post-budget dialogue for financial year 25-26, organized by Civil Society Budget Advocacy Group, held at Mesteel in Kampala. According to Civil Society Budget Advocacy Group and budget experts, low absorption capacity of allocated funds every financial year by some local governments is a disservice to hopeful citizens who helplessly continue to see money return to government's treasury. Auditor's General Report of the financial year 2023-24 revealed a whopping 1.49 trillion was returned. They also point to a limited time for scrutinizing the ever-coming supplementary budgets. A total of 6,548 billion in supplementary has been registered in the year 2024-25, up from 3,249 billion in the financial year 2019-2020, pointing to a progressive increase year in, year out. The financial year 2025-26 budget stands at 72.3 trillion URA is tipped to collect about 34 trillion, yet local governments that would assist are collecting 328.7 billion, only calling for the need to up their game. The non-tax revenue sources like EPS fines, passports renewal are unreliable. Wasteful expenditure, alias not poverty friendly. Budget allocations are also a big concern since they have no direct benefit to the poor. CS-BAG is calling for their further trimming. At least 977 billion has been allocated for inland travel, workshops, 296.8 billion, welfare and entertainment, 207.9 and donations has been allocated 168.5 billion. Newspapers, books, periodicals, 71.6 billion. For budget efficiency, they are calling for proper projects, preparation, strengthening poverty alleviation programs, improving absorption of approved project funds, and on the sidelines, they have also given out service excellence awards, with Isinjiro district topping other districts. Also awarded included PPDA, Office of the Auditor General, and Uganda Drivers Association. Well, that's it from GNU Business, but let's have a look at what is with the Forex rates as of 18th June 2025. And looking at how the dollar opened, it was buying at 3,594.18 and selling at 3,604.18. Dropped slight value there by midday, 3,593.91. And selling at 3,603.91. Closed in at 3,594.00. Buying and selling at 3,604.00. The British pound was buying at 4,837.52 and selling at 4,850.98. And the euro was buying at 4,135.97 and selling at 4,147.48. The Kenyan shilling was buying at 27.80 and selling at 27.88. Dropped a bit of value there as well. And the Tanzanian shilling was at selling at 1.36 and buying at 1.36 and selling at 1.37. And the South African rand dropped a bit of value there as well, buying at 199.94 and selling at 200.50. And that brings us to the end of what we have in the business segment. Up next is the agenda. Today, the 19th day of June, is the polling date for youth special interest groups taking on their polls, and it's a conversation we are delving into all together, so stick around.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Pick of the day on UBC.
He expected me to die like within the first 2 years.
Out of the blue, the child will get pains, especially in the wrists. And this happens commonly when children are starting to walk.
Was brought to you by
I'll call you every day, yeah, yo, baby, don't know.
You can now get all the Chibuzi out with MTN voice bundles. Call all networks. Kubei Dondoro. Buy a 25-minute voice bundle for only 1,000. Or buy any daily voice bundle of your choice. Dial *100 *21# and select daily, or use the My MTN app. When we talk together, we are unstoppable.
Hello, Kampala, Uganda. In response to the national call of strengthening the traffic security, Good Products Group HGO brand has officially launched the Rider Selection Campaign. Registration is now open. Visit www.riders.hgo.com. Complete your registration now for a chance to win exciting prizes including motorcycles, exclusive HGO gift boxes, and official rider vests, all while promoting safe riding awareness. This is how to participate. Pay the registration fee, invite 3 friends friends to form a team of 4, and your registration fee will instantly be refunded. Begin your journey of honor today. Don't miss this opportunity. Join the challenge, promote road safety, and become a pioneer rider. For details, visit the official Good Products website at www.hgo.com or call toll-free 0800-335-555 or visit our offices at Kingdom Kampala 3rd floor to register now and win prizes worth millions.
In a nation hungry for truth, a world where every story matters, there exists a beacon of trust and reliability. For decades, they've been our voice and our window to the world, holding the mirror of our history. With 4 TV stations and 11 radio channels spanning 27 languages, they stand as guardians of information, defenders of truth. With Mascari Heritage Advantage, they uphold every citizen's right to reliable and free information. Their archive stories shaped our past and illuminate our present. Yet now, as new challenges arise and the world evolves, their mission faces its greatest test yet. Be part of our journey and let's navigate the unknown, uncover the untold, and safeguard our future together. Tune into your public broadcaster, for it is the intersection of trust and truth. Because to UBC, your story, and every voice matters. UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Juko. Yo. Check the shopping, man. What's your secret?
Haven't you heard of the parish development model, PDM?
Yes, I did, but I thought it was just a talk.
No, Sebatia. It is real. I and a few friends together formed a circle, accessed money from the PDM, invested in a portrait project, and now things are moving.
Juko. I thought I was one of your friends.
You are.
But you left me behind.
I didn't leave you in poverty. What you do, just visit your LC2 chairperson and your parish chief and start the process of economic transformation. Just like that. The parish development model is an initiative from the government of Uganda through the Ministry of Local Government designed to transform all lives of Ugandans for the better. PDM, my parish, my development, my life.
The government's core mandate is to maintain law and order, safeguard citizens' rights, and provide essential public services.
Remember, one of the pillars of a roadmap is innovation and entrepreneurship.
There has been this question of how are you protecting our indigenous seed?
It's going to be a tall project that answers somebody's question.
For the past 20 weeks, the front bench has brought you insightful discussions on governance, security, healthcare, justice, and commerce.
When you go through this complicated procedure, involve the lawyers, you bring the case against him, the judge will hear you out and pass judgment, and you're out of court in record time.
We remain committed to keeping you informed and engaged on key national matters.
So these are huge, these are powerful organizations which now Uganda chairs. Why don't you come together?
If we haven't migrated to the e-card because of various reasons, including that not all the people of Uganda have smartphones.
You can sit in your house, apply for a passport.
If you have a Ugandan who has a successful logistics firm in the US, it means he can come to Uganda and do a lot more.
Now airing every Monday at 8:30 p.m. with me, Jethro Kasaiji, your interface with the government only on your public broadcaster, UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Our program of poverty eradication is a must. We want everybody to be involved.
Through the parish development model, Ugandans are starting small but impactful projects to improve their livelihoods.
When we give 1 million, we know it's not enough to do many things, but it's a starting point.
I'm a PDM beneficiary, a farmer,
Your Excellency, I was given 1 million Uganda shillings from Kobil Kawo PDM Sacco. Your Excellency, I got 20 bunches from my small piece of land sold, got 400,000, put in the PDM farm, Your Excellency, in the PDM money, Your Excellency, I bought a cow of 1,400,000.
In 1 year, 100 families in the parish you get. In 5 years, 500 families would have got.
We were the first people to receive money from Nakapiriprit. I received $1 million. I rented 4 acres of land and I was able to harvest 14 bags.
So really this 1 million is enabling somebody to start something. Yes, and we don't want to give too much money to one person because we have got very many people to cover.
The parish development model empowers the people, focusing on lifting up the masses and creating opportunities that ensure prosperity for all. This message is brought to you by the Ministry of ICT and National Guidance.
Njagala okwebaza olw'enteekateeka eno gavumenti gye yatondawo ey'okulaba nga omuntu wa wansi, omuntu omuwejjero wa ghetto afiibwako. Nti nga ghettos eriyo embeera eyaliwo nga si nnungi. Okugezeza ddala mu nteekateeka eno nga tennajja, abaana bangi baakwatibwanga, naye bukya enteekateeka eno ejja, bintu bingi bituukiddwako, naddala mu nteekateeka z'ebyokwerinda, security, wamu n'enkulaakulana. Nga tuyita mu nkola gye bayita eya ghetto structure. Ghetto structure kwe kulonda obukulembeze okuviira ddala ku ghetto esookebwako ku kyalo, ne tubeera ne ba coordinators ku muluka, paka eno gye tuli. Omwaka guno yatuwa ssente obukadde 100 wano emikono twabufuna. Era mu nfuna ya ssente zino twagala okwebaza Oweekitiibwa Pulezidenti. Ssente zino ziyambye nnyo abantu ba ghetto. Abantu ba ghetto nakubadde gavumenti ebadde n'emiwaatwa mingi gyeyisaamu ssente zaayo okutuuka ku bantu zibayambye, naye ssente ezo zibadde tezituuka ku bantu ba ghetto. Ssente zino bannaghetto tuzibawadde era bazifunyeemu. Ebiseera ebisinga wali emabega abantu ba ghetto abamu baali bennyamivu nga bamanyi nti gavumenti yabavaako, era ng'osanga abantu abamu mu ghetto nga tebalinaamu nsonga. Oli akugamba ekimbeeza mu ghetto noonyeza emirimu Uganda wonna gibuze. Twagala okusima pulezidenti w'eggwanga kubanga ssente ze yatuwa twazifuna, era gwe guno omulundi ogwasookera ddala nga bannaghetto mu Uganda. Era twagala okumwebaza okutwagalira ddala n'atuwa ne ku ssente ezikola. Ffenna ffe twagala kumusuubiza nti abalaba gye bamulabira nti akadde, ate kati ffe olw'okuba yakatutandikako tulaba nga yakavubuka, era twagala n'okumulaga amaanyi 26 oba ki ebyatuswaza edda mu mukono, twagala okubimalawo mu 2026, tugatteko amaanyi tumwebaze olw'omutima ogwagala abantu ba bulijjo naddala ffe bannaghetto.
I'm called Ezekiel Wanjikate.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Good morning. Time for the agenda. And like I mentioned earlier, today, the 19th day of June, is the polling day for youths within the special interest groups that is now, this week altogether, is the polling of special interest groups, that is older persons, women, persons with disabilities, and youth. And today is scheduled for the youth. Now, we are having an overview of the special interest groups in the country. And to do that with us is Mr. Ninsima Gachibayo, who is the Assistant Resident City Commissioner of Jinja City South Division. My name is Julie Nantabamsisi, and I am with Robert Chirabo Nyonyintono to engage Ninsima Gachibayo on this particular conversation. Good morning once again. Good morning, Ninsima.
A very good morning to you.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you too. I'm profoundly honored to be part of the Good Morning show.
Yes.
On UBC, the national broadcaster.
Right.
I greet everybody who is viewing us wherever you are, and I congratulate those who have got good things this morning. May the good glory be to God, and also pass my sincere condolences and sympathy to those who have got challenges and those who have lost their dear ones. May the good Lord comfort you all.
Right.
Thank you for hosting me today.
All right, thank you so much. Starting with your place of operation, how are you, or how have you prepared? How prepared are you for this week's special interest groups elections, especially one that's taking place today?
Yeah, thank you very much, my dear sister Judy. We are more prepared as the Jinja City and Jinja South Division for this exercise of the special interest groups, especially the youth, who are electing their leaders today. And yesterday we had a preparatory meeting with all the stakeholders, including the Electoral Commission officials, who guided and gave us all the do's and the don'ts that we communicated to all the people and all the youth in Jinja. And as we speak today, the exercise has already started because the EC officials have already arrived on all polling stations in the villages. For example, in Jinja City, we have 141 villages that are going to act as the polling stations, and all the officials have already arrived. I have been monitoring in Warukuba, in areas like Rumbas Road, areas like Kachindu, Main Street, and other villages. They are ready, and we are only waiting to start, because before they start, they are going to be having an awareness to those who are going to participate in the elections on what they are supposed to do. And we believe by 9 o'clock we would have started or kicked off the elections until 2 p.m.
Right, thank you very much.
Now, also help us understand, when you talk about the youth and the affirmative action, what exactly are they voting? Which positions for today?
Yeah, the youth, like the other special interest groups, as Aria mentioned, of the elderly, of the women, and the PWDs, they are going also to elect their leaders. Nine youth members, 9 members who will be leaders, who will be sitting on their committee leaders as their leaders. So theirs is different because the age is between 18 to 30 years. That is what we were guided, and also the National Youth Council Amendment Act, especially the one of 2024, that guides on the age who is supposed to register, to participate, and also be elected as a youth leader in this exercise that we are starting today, sir.
Gachibayo, could you help us and be more specific? When you say they're electing 9 of their leaders, what positions are these? Because most of the times people are not well aware of what they are choosing or voting for, and this causes chaos and commotion.
Yes, we are guided by the Electoral Commission that the positions they are going to elect, we have the chairperson, the vice chairperson, because them being at the village level, they are going to participate in positions, the chairperson, the vice chairperson, the treasurer, the one, and other positions. That is what entails their election today.
Right. Thank you so much. Now, how do these elections, in your perspective, how do these elections ensure inclusivity, especially at local government level?
Yes, the local government level, like any other level in the country, about the leadership. First of all, it is going to empower the youth to have their voice on the local government level or positions that they are being represented. Because the democracy that the NRM government restored ensures that everybody participates in a free, fair, peaceful election by electing the representatives or the leaders themselves they have chosen or out of their will. That we have elected Ninsima to be our leader, we have elected Chirabo to be our leader, and that's what they are going to participate in, and this is what is going to bring out their voice also, and in decisive positions to be able to have the democracy as a core value in their decisions today.
Interesting.
Who is eligible to vote in these elections? Away from just age 18 to 30, so who qualifies, to simplify it?
The registered, you must be a registered voter, because this is an exercise of the Electoral Commission. Electoral Commission as a constitutional body under Article 60 and 61 of the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda 1995 as amended. They have already guided that whoever is going to participate, apart from the age of 18 to 30, they have to be registered voters. And as you know, our viewers, voting is a constitutional right under Article 59 of the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda, and it is your duty as a citizen also to participate in electoral exercises under Article 17 clause 1. So this is what we have always been telling our youth across the country, to equally participate, because this is a constitutional right that they have to engage in.
Right. Thank you very much for that. You did earlier on hint on free, peaceful and fair elections, and I'd like to ask you, what are those security and logistical measures you've taken upon yourself in your office to make sure that there's a smooth flow and peaceful election process, especially today's elections, the election process that is for the youth?
This is not the first election that we have held. We have been holding a number of them, and across the country, the elections have always been peaceful, and we also expect this one to be also a peaceful one. We know that it is for the youth, especially the youth, some of them have challenges in abiding with the guidelines and the rules. But we want to assure you that security is very alert, and we have had a number of engagements with all the other security agencies, including the police, including the army, and other personnel. We believe we are going to be monitoring all over the polling stations or villages where these elections are going to be held from, and we expect maximum and peaceful exercise. We don't want to see any kind of fighting. We don't want to see any kind of chaos or commotion that is being brought by the youth.
Now, Gachiba, in your own assessment, let's try to look at awareness among the voters, the populace. With these special interest groups, usually there's very low turn-up, and there could be a number of factors. But now let's look at awareness. How aware are the youth in your particular area regarding their election today?
may say the awareness is good, and we expect a great turn-up in my area as Jinja and Jinja City South Division, because we have spent almost a week disseminating this information. As I speak, yesterday I was on air on a certain radio in Jinja City with the officials from Electoral Commission, and we did a great job to call upon the youth to participate in this cause, and we believe the awareness is okay. So we expect that they are going to own this exercise, and they love it, and they observe the electoral rules and guidelines as they were stipulated, or as they have been always been stipulated by the election officials.
Right. You are watching Good Morning Uganda, and in case you've just joined us, we are having an overview of the special interest groups in the country, particularly because they have held and are having their polling exercise today. And in studio over the phone with us is Ninsima Gachibayo, who is the RCC of Jinja City South Division. Now, Ninsima, what notable challenges have you and your mandate faced in mobilizing and registering voters in Jinja City?
Yeah, the first challenge we've been having are those youth who have been coming to our offices saying they are not in the register, that their names were erased from the register. And we have engaged the Electoral Commission officials on a number of occasions to see how best can this be rectified. But they are saying they had the time to display the voters register, and they called upon all people to go and do the rectification, or either in the names or either in their details. And some of them could not turn up because maybe they were not aware, or they could not own the exercise. But at the last hour or at the last minute, this is what we are entirely facing. But for us, we are saying ours is to ensure that there is a peaceful exercise, and getting in touch with other security agencies. We cannot interfere with the Electoral Commission's work. We are being guided by the Electoral Commission, and we have always been telling them to go and sort out their challenges or grievances with the Electoral Commission officials. That is what we have been able to advise them. And as a major challenge in Jinja and my area of jurisdiction as Jinja South Division.
Gachbayo, in Jinja South Division, please create for us a picture what the environment is like. Do we see any maybe red districts, if I may use that, or areas, hotspots to say? Is there excitement, or is it a dull election?
Yeah, from where I have monitored since morning, I started at exactly 6 a.m. until now. Yes, the turn-up is coming up, and the youth are being guided on what to do, because like I earlier mentioned, the Electoral Commission officials are supposed to have an awareness or a baraza at every village, or which is going to be termed as a polling station, to ensure that these people are lectured or are given what they are supposed to do and what they are not supposed to do. And like I said, the time is limited for this exercise. It only starts from this morning up to 2 p.m. That is when it is going to be ending. So beyond the 2 p.m., the Electoral Commission is going to be compiling the results and doing their work to announce the results. So don't expect the youth to come beyond that time that they are going to participate into the election. So whoever is watching us from wherever you are, do whatever you are doing, while knowing that there is a specified kind of duration to do this exercise. if you really want to participate in this youth election.
All right, Gachibayo, in today's polling exercise, shall there be independent organizations or CSOs monitoring the election?
Yes, provided you are accredited by the Electoral Commission. Because, like I said, this is not a one individual's exercise that Gachibayo is owning the electoral exercise. It is an exercise of the Electoral Commission that is constitutionally mandated to conduct elections in Uganda. And once you are accredited by the Electoral Commission, and it is true, you have come as an observer or an overseer of the election, you are not going to cause chaos in every polling station or whatsoever, then you will be allowed to do your work. We cannot really deny you that opportunity, provided you are guided by the law and guidelines.
Gachibayo, let's look at the methodology of voting. What are we going by today? Just for clarity for our members of the public.
Yeah, this is going to be an exercise of lining up. Or a candidate goes in front, and then you line up. Behind the candidate. So that is the lining up methodology is what the Electoral Commission has guided us that they are going to use. It is not a ballot election where you are going to use the ballot. No, it is going to be an election of lining up on your candidate or a candidate of your choice. So that is what we are guided by the Electoral Commission officials.
Right. What would you advise citizens, especially those who are taking part in the polling exercise, in case they spot any irregularities or violence? What would you advise them to do in that moment?
First of all, we advise them that wherever they spot an irregularity or any confusion, one, to use our officers, to use the relevant authorities in handling this exercise, because we want this exercise to be a peaceful exercise. We don't expect people to come and do chaotic tendencies like we saw in Kawempe by-election, Kawempe North. We don't expect that. And should you do that, expect that the authorities are going to be very alert on that, and they will work on you as you intend to cause any chaotic tendencies. So we expect them to report, or we expect them to work hand in hand with the Electoral Commission officials to ensure that this election is a peaceful one.
You've mentioned
we need leaders. We need leaders. We need leaders like the late Nelson Mandela said. The youth of today are the leaders of tomorrow. So if you want to be a leader of tomorrow, participate in this youth election, but in a peaceful way.
You've mentioned that they could use your office. Are there specific numbers at least they could call, maybe, for it to have practical sense to it?
Yes, all resident city commissioners all over the country, our offices are open. They are very open from morning to 5 p.m. to ensure that whoever has a challenge or wants any information can always do the walk-in and approaches a certain office of the resident city commissioner to be able to get this information. But except today, we are going to be monitoring and moving around these villages, but within our areas of jurisdiction. So whoever you can see, or even any security agency or personnel, you can report that there is a problem here so that we respond and save the situation.
Well, Gachibayo, thank you so much. You've brought in your office. Now, on a number of elections that we've had as a country, your office has been criticized for involving in elections where it's supposed to be non-partisan but being seen partisan. And we've had issues, I don't know, we've had allegations, because they haven't been confirmed in court, where people say the RDC, the RCC, the assistant, the deputy. How do you maintain being, yes, would I call you a political appointment, but non-partisan? How do you manage to balance, and where do we regularly see your office implicated or pointed at?
Well, I may not have the facts of that, like you have mentioned, but for us, we are our offices are constitutional mandated. They are we drive our mandate from Article 203 of the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda, 1995, as amended. That and the Local Government Act from Section 76, Section 78, and Section 77 our functions to monitor all government programs in our areas of jurisdiction. So monitoring is a big exercise. It entails even supervision. It entails even talking to those people we are monitoring and having the reports or concerns from those people. So when they see us monitoring, they think we are sidelined. They think that we are not doing the right work, but we are always guided by the law, and we cannot interfere with anything that is not within our mandate. That's why I told you this exercise belongs to Electoral Commission. For us, we are just ensuring that the exercise is a peaceful one. And we don't expect an RDC and a deputy RDC, an assistant RDC to get involved or to be voted in this election unless you resigned or you put in your resignation to participate in this election, as we are being guided by the Public Service Standing Orders of 2021. But beyond that, our role is only to do the monitoring.
Right. Mr. Gachibayo, what do you think, what impact as an influence do you think those who represent special interest groups have on the local government in terms of decision making?
Yeah, like I said, their voice matters a lot. Once they elect the leaders, their concerns or their grievances, like we have been getting them reporting to us that the youth, we have this challenge, we have this challenge. But once they are, they elect the leaders, we believe they will even have the leaders up to the national level and in parliament. So the decision will always be very easy that they have participated in this very election. So we don't expect them to have excuses that for us we are not given the opportunity. For us we are not given the opportunity. That's why I told you the NRM government, upon its sitting in NRA, that turned into NRM in 1984, when they sat in Kauma and Kanyanda, that is Ruwero district, coming up with the other 10 points program. The first point was is democracy or restoration of democracy. So this is where they are going to bring all their voices and participating in the election by electing the leaders of their choices.
Now, Gachibayo, you rightly said that voting will end at exactly 2 p.m. Now, and you said as early as 7, voting will have commenced. Now, let's put ourselves in the mind of the youth. At what time must they arrive? Because we are looking at voting by lining up. Now, say if the candidate of my preferred choice, so how is this going to happen? Are we saying that at exactly this time, people must have lined up and voting must have kicked off? Are we waiting for quorum? Throw more light on that.
No, we are guided by the Electoral Commission officials that from 7 to 9 a.m., there shall be a baraza. The arrivals are expected to come. The candidates and those who are going to participate, the eligible voters, to participate in this exercise. Those are the arrivals, and we shall have a baraza. A baraza, the awareness, the information, the guidelines on what to do and what you are not supposed to do. And that is going to be done by the Electoral Commission officials themselves. So we expect that the voting will start at 9 a.m. up to 2 p.m. That is what we were guided yesterday by the Electoral Commission officials, especially in Jinja, where I interacted with them, and that is the information they gave me. So this is the very information I have to give to Ugandans, whoever is going to participate in this mighty exercise of electing youth leaders. Please oblige to that.
Now, also take us through the do's and don'ts if you're aware of them in today's election. Because yesterday we saw the chairperson of the Electoral Commission, Justice Simon Byabakama, warning against militia groups that purportedly are organized to protect people's votes. And sometimes this is a youthful election. What are those that one should avoid? He who is going to participate in this election, and so he who is going to be a candidate.
First of all, I want to urge all the youth who wish or who are ready to participate in this election. One, to ensure that this election is a peaceful one. Because you need to love this exercise, you need to be very calm and observe the electoral rules. First of all, when you are electing leaders, I want to tell you, Ugandans, that leadership is not all about positions or titles, but the ability to inspire and lead others. How will you lead others when you yourself you are unruly, or you don't observe the guidelines or the rules? So we expect you to be very calm. We expect you to be guided by the electoral rules, and whatever you do, do it from the bottom of your heart. This is even a biblical scripture from the book of Colossians 3:23, that whatever you do, do it from the heart, for the Lord, not for the people. So once you have that one at the bottom of your heart, we expect that you will observe maximum and respect the guidelines that have been put forward to guide this election. So the voter bribery, we don't expect it to surface anywhere. The insults, because remember this is a lining up exercise where somebody will be in the line that is insulting another. We don't want that, because it can result in fights, and which we don't want to see. So that's why we are monitoring from village to village to see that there is a peaceful election. Also, the police is in touch with us to see that certain personnel are stationed on every polling station, which is a village, so that there is law and order and a peaceful exercise is seen.
All right. Now, special interest group elections are not just ending this week. There's still more to come into even the next month of July. So what actions have you taken or are you taking to sensitize special interest groups, communities about their right to vote?
Yeah, like I said, like I mentioned earlier, voting is a constitutional right that is guaranteed to you and to me and to everybody under Article 59 of the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda, 1995. And the duties of a citizen for you to participate in electoral exercises. Yes, we get in touch with the Electoral Commission officials, and we encourage them also to use media. Media is key as the fourth estate in this exercise of disseminating the message and also talking to Ugandans, especially the youth, to get to know that this exercise is vital, and we must give it time, we must love it, and also participate in it. So in our area, especially Jinja City, our radios, our media have already given the platform to Electoral Commission officials so that they can do their role or their part without any hurdles, but to disseminate the information and keep the awareness to all Ugandans.
Well, Gachibayo, you had an election yesterday. What are some of the highlights that maybe you could have noted and you would want to tell the public, warn about it, so that we do not have reoccurrences?
Actually, the last concluded elections, you are aware of the elderly and the PWDs, people with disabilities. Those were the peaceful elections. I did not have any complaint. I did not get any challenge with them, because you see, these are some of them have challenges on their bodies. That's the people with disabilities. They could always participate in the election in a peaceful way. Also, the elderly, those from 60 years and above, you could see that they really loved the exercise, and they were very peaceful and calm. We didn't have any challenge or any problem with them, and that's what I want also to tell the youth, to borrow a leaf from the last concluded special interest groups elections, that they oblige to that, and also ensure that we have this exercise done in a peaceful way.
All right, moving forward, what is your, in your opinion really, what reforms or improvements would you want to see when it comes to the administration of special interest group elections moving forward in the future?
Yeah, first of all, the issue of the age. The issue of the age. I would appeal to Parliament, especially the 12th Parliament, the one that is coming, because the tenure of the 11th Parliament is nearly coming to an end. You are aware of that. Now, I would appeal to 12th Parliament, inshallah ta'ala, to come up with the bill of amending these years, especially in the National Youth Act. They amended that to ensure that these coming up, especially the youth, is the problem of the years. She's saying, I am 31, but I've not had the opportunity to participate. I think under the mandate of Parliament, using their legislative mandate, they could look into this, and we see how best other people can easily be included in the exercise than coming up with all the excuses, and they become the problem in the future.
Gachibayo, just look at current affairs in another perspective. Are you also having the army help other security agencies in policing or ensuring peace in these special interest groups election, more so the youth, in Jinja South Division?
Yes, the community liaisons directorate, or the CROs, have always been in touch with the Electoral Commission officials, where they have gone to communities and educating them on this exercise, on how it is going to take place and how they are supposed to move.
No, I think you didn't get me clear, Gachibayo. My question was, I know your office is in charge of security, and we know police entirely deals with elections, but it can call upon other sister security agencies. So are we likely to see UPDF also called in here? Is it part of the uniform we are going to see among security personnel who are policing and ensuring peace in these elections? Or can we take it that from your perspective, in your area of jurisdiction, UPDF won't be involved?
we have always been, this is, like I said earlier, this is not the first election we have held. We have held a number of elections, and we have been working together with other security agencies in ensuring that there is a peaceful exercise scene. So we expect them to be on board, but police takes the lead, being guided by the Electoral Commission officials. That is when we can be moving, or we can be monitoring to see that this exercise is done in a peaceful way.
All right, thank you very much, Ninsima Gachibayo. He is the Assistant Resident City Commissioner of Jinja City South Division. And thank you for making time to speak with us.
It's an honor. Maybe, Judy, you will allow me call upon those in my area in Jinja, in Rusoga, so that they can come up or turn up in big numbers.
All right, please go ahead.
Thank you. Abantu beidinda n'abasoga mwena ngenda okubakobera nti exercise y'okulonda obukiiko bw'abavubuka etandise. Essaawa dino wetuli kwogerera exercise etandise bulungi ino. Tubasuubira nti exercise eno okuva essaawa en'okunkyo okuta essaawa 8 exercise eno edda kubanga emalirizibwa okuboneka nga mumaliza okulonda abakulembeze baimwe. Ndi bakubiriza mwena wano mu Idinda City tulina ebyalo 140 na kirala. Bino bijja kukola nga polling stations wona wetugenda okuba nga tulondera. Ndi bakubiriza mwidde okubona nga mulonda obukulembeze bwaimwe obw'abavubuka. Aye kyende bakubiriza mwena okubona nga mubebeikikamu titwenda kubona nga abantu muleeta obuvuyo, muli kulwana, muli kuleeta ebintu byona ebiteekirizibwa wemugenda okulondera. Ekyo kindi bakubiriza okuba abiikikamu. Poliisi n'ebitongole ebindi biri mu kulawuna ebifo byetweta polling stations okubona nga exercise eno ejja mu maiso. Banange ndibendeza election enungi, ndibendeza obwikakamu, ndibendeza emirembe. Ninze Ninsima Gachibayo, Assistant Resident City Commissioner wa Jinja City Southern Division, Kyabazinga afunvuwe ino ebyanda n'ebyanda. I wish you a blessed day.
All right, thank you very much. And that brings us to the end of today's edition of Good Morning Uganda. Let's do this again tomorrow on a Friday. Good morning.
Live from UPC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.